think Denny Hamlin's here.
Let's do it. All right.
Cool, man.
Let's bring him in.
Our winner from the Clash. There he is. Hey. He's locked up.
Oh, gosh. We're wrecking.
We're in events. We're backwards in the wall. There he is.
Oh, maybe he's
Damn,
not
he was not locked
He was,
up.
he
Holy
was
shit.
like a statue.
Man.
Looked just like one of the trophies back there.
Man, we thought you were sitting there so still reading your phone that we really thought for a minute that you were that we had locked up the feed. What is that trophy over your right shoulder? That's your left.
Good point. Well, I was looking at the picture.
Oh, yeah, I know. I figured I'd get you.
Talladega.
Talladega. Dang,
Yeah.
that's cool. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, everybody calling in. This week's winner of the Clash, Denny Hamlin. Denny, congratulations on a win. Did you have fun?
I did. Usually the winner's the only one that has fun at that place. So, yeah, we did. Certainly, I don't know how much it correlates, but certainly it's just a good, momentum boost for the team. I got a few new engineers, road guys that are on the road with us this year. So break them in the right way. That was kind of the benefit of it.
Did you lose your number one engineer or these backup dudes?
Yeah. The number one guy, Sam McCauley, he's been with me for, it's got to be over 10 years now. He moved on. He's now Sheldon Creed's crew chief at JGR and Xfinity. So he'd reached the point where he was ready to move up the ladder. So, I hated losing him, but it's, he's got to look out for the best interest of his long-term career.
That is a position that I think a lot of fans probably don't realize how critical the lead engineer is, especially these days with these cars. So that could have a negative or a positive effect for a team when they make the change in that particular position. But so let's go on, man. You talked about this on your podcast a little bit. Actions detrimental. Where does the Clash go from here? I got my opinions about it. I listened to some of your comments about the financials of going to Daytona. And so my opinion is that, I miss speed weeks. I miss being there, even though when I was racing, when I was like you, I was ready to go home on Monday and Tuesday between the Clash and the duels. But I miss the practices and just sort of the lead up. You talked about how it was kind of a nice way to figure out who was good. It was a storyline. It created storylines. It sort of was the appetizer and the teaser for the Daytona 500 and built the momentum up to that race that we're sort of lacking. But you also noted the financials to running there, and there, as an owner, taking cars that 50 to 80% they're of a chance of wrecking those cars in that race. So what? And you said you didn't have the answer. I'm hearing they might go to Mexico. Canada's in the conversation. I guess everything's on the table. What do you think happens to the Clash?
Well, it needs to be on an oval. That I'm pretty firm in that belief that it needs to be on an oval. If we go somewhere, okay, it can't pay 25% of what a normal race pays, though.
What is the normal race pay?
Well, if you look at Bob Pockris posts what the purse is for each and every race every week, and it's right around $8 million somewhere in that range. And this week was 2.2.
Okay,
so it's 25%. So it's economically, this race is a loss. No matter what you do to it. But now, if you are going to tell me that we're going to go, to another country. Like this, it gets to a point where this is not an investment for the teams anymore. This is, I don't know that it was an investment anyway. If you asked all of us, we probably if we had the option, all teams probably would opt out in participating in the Clash because it's has a bad negative impact on us. So, I just believe that I think there's merit to what you're saying in the buildup of speed weeks. Certainly, we should not be going to Daytona and just qualifying lap one. Not only that, but we had teams, had some mechanical issues in qualifying. I think it was a year or two ago. Two cars couldn't even get off pit road.
Connor
They
Daly's
didn't
car
look
was bouncing all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, this is the biggest race. And if you don't have build up to it, I mean, there's going to be a price to pay, and it could be through ratings. So I think that there is merit to running there. But certainly if you told me we're going to go back to the Daytona Oval, again, now you're saying, for the quarter of the purse, now we're more likely to tear up equipment. I don't know what the net difference is of that versus going all the way to LA, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the travel there, that's pretty heavy on the team. So I'm not really sure. I don't know the right answer. There's only so many warm weather tracks. I mean,
do you think the Clash goes away entirely? Are you one of those?
No. Yeah. It's a revenue maker for the league, so they're not going to get rid of it.
Plus, you've won some of those races, and now, like, if that race just disappears, your successes are diminished. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, I just want whatever's going to be best for the sport and all the stakeholders, but equally for all stakeholders.
Yeah.
So if we're going to go international, that's fine. Make sure you take care of your teams that have to put the effort in to do it. If we go back to Daytona, make the thing pay like it's supposed to. I'm not really sure, right? I mean, could you do this on a Thursday before Daytona? You got your Daytona 500 on Friday practice or qualifying. Like, it needs Daytona. We need to be down there a little bit longer. So I don't know the right answer. I mean, there's Pensacola down there, Five Flats, whatever, right? I mean, we got to find a warm weather.
Dude, that's a great. I didn't even think about that. So, like, they had Speed Weeks, the Short Track World Series down there. Maybe it could be like a component of that in a way. You get 18, 22 cars out on the racetrack down there with the late models. That could be cool.
Yeah, I've heard you say as well that, like, you believe that the Clash should be pole winners only, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah, that'd be 12, 16 cars.
So, I mean, we just got into a point, though, that every team had such big sponsors.
Yep.
About 8-10 years ago, that some were getting left out.
Yeah.
And enough team owners started griping that, hey, I can't be leaving out, Budweiser or whoever it was at the time out of the Clash. You got to invite us in. So then they started getting creative with the rules to allow these guys to get in. But now I think we can go back to it being a little bit more prestigious.
Exclusive.
Yeah. That's better word.
Yeah, I like that too, man. I think that it needs to have the All-Star race. You mentioned it. It's about All-Stars. It should be just All-Stars, the best in the sport. It should be a very select group of people. The Clash was about pole winners. It needs to stay in its lane. That's all it needs to be. We need to quit trying to make it more. It's just that. It's a little teaser for the Daytona 500, 20 laps, 12, 15, 14 cars out on the racetrack, just racing for, and you probably could take 12 to 16 cars, and you could have a pretty good purse with $2.5 million.
Sure.
Yeah. So, anyhow, man, hey, what are you looking forward to about the Daytona 500? I mean, you're arguably one of the best on the plate tracks in terms of understanding a draft and knowing how to get yourself to the front. What's different about this trip?
Well, we have a new Camry. That's going to be one difference, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of anticipation from the Ford and the Toyota camp of what do we have, because it really, if you look at the qualifying results on super speedways over the last 3 years, really since Next Gen started, it pretty much was in line with downforce and drag numbers, right? I mean, we all kind of understand where all the manufacturers are on that. And then the qualifying really solidifies that. So I think that you're going to, if there's one manufacturer, and it could be Chevrolet, that is strong, because if other manufacturers feel like they made a gain in downforce, more than likely that came at the cost of drag. So now is the Chevrolet going to take over the domination of qualifying on super speedways, or does the Ford or Toyota have an advantage on the drag at those tracks? So that's what I'm most looking forward to, is seeing kind of where we stack up, because when we're all pedal to the metal in qualifying, I mean, pretty much that's pretty much you're seeing what the bodies can do, and that's going to be something I'll be looking out.
Yeah, man. We're also going to be watching, seeing how you guys can push. I know that having that nose changed a little bit will affect that for the better. So should be making the racing a lot more intense, knowing that you guys can get a little more aggressive, hopefully, with the shoves. Appreciate you calling in. I know you got a busy week trying to prepare for everything going on in your season. Congratulations again. If you haven't listened to Actions Detrimental, it's out. Denny's been getting that thing out pretty quick, and he's made a claim that he's going to try even harder this year to get it out to the fans, and it's been a great hit for us here at Dirty Mo Media. So thank you, Denny. Have a good week.
All right. Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.